cuz. What's happening? Welcome to the Talkman Radio Show live. Back with you again, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Hello. Spider. I thought you said I'm okay, Spider. No, you ain't okay, Spider. But we ain't okay. A lot of things happened this week. Some fantasy, and they all have fantasy impacts. We're gonna get into that, but first, gotta get it out of the way. 12-ounce sports. Who loves you more than I do, huh? I'm on a Goodfellas kick. 12-ounce sports, 12ouncesportsradio.com. Always remember you can get them online at the website, 12ouncesportsradio.com. And social media, you can find 12-ounce sports, just 12-ounce sports on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. All over the place. Talkman Radio, a little different story. Every Friday you can find me at 6 o'clock right here, 12-ounce sports. That ain't going to change. But you can also go to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Talkman Radio. Every week I put out clips from the show from tonight. And if you don't want to watch the whole thing or you missed a part, you can check it out there. So usually most of the show is in there in clip form, at least the good parts. So we're doing that now. That's what we're doing. So it's Friday. I got buried up at work today. I didn't know what. I was like that dude. They punch you in the face, then you spin around. The other dude punch you in the face. Crazy. But now we get to talk about fantasy football. I did want to talk about this. I'll get into this part. But first things first, Drew Brees gone. We're going to go over a couple stats of his. If you had, there was a long time, you had him, you had a top flight quarterback there, buddy. And we'll get into that. The breakdown from that, we're going to get into Winston versus Hill. Good, the bad, and where it's gonna go. Who knows? I don't know where it's gonna go, but if it goes both ways, I'm gonna give you what the scoop is. And then we'll talk about free agent. Oh wait, no. Gotta talk about that Bears trade, or the trade that didn't happen. I've been telling you. I mean, it's been all over the news. Not like I'm telling you any crazy, but what they offered, I gotta get into this. As a matter of fact, I gotta pull it up. I took it down. To look up Japanese porn, but I gotta get it back. So we get talk about the Bears trade and then free agency up to the minute. Free agency. We're gonna go through the main guys who moved. There's some defensive guys that made some moves that I'm gonna talk about, but mainly the offensive guys. I mean, not too many huge guys moving in free agency, but there are some guys that you are gonna need to keep track of. There's a guy so far. We'll leave it at that. We could be looking at a little sleeper running back for you. We'll leave it at that. We're going to get to that though. So let's get started. But before we get started, a little more about my boys. Just want to take a moment to tell you about 12-ounce sports. Now that the action's back on officially, 12-ounce sports is your home for the best live talk shows covering all aspects of the sporting world and live game broadcasts too. We had one like last week. We had the football game. My man Mike going through it. With Zingo TV adding 12-ounce sports to their long list of channels, you can now catch my show and all the others on Zingo TV channel 761. All you got to do is download Zingo TV and use the promo code 12ounce. That's 120Z. When signing up, it's that simple. Be sure to check out our latest blogs and podcasts as well on 12ouncesportsradio.com. What I tell you, I told you it exists. Go there and stay there. So, gotta do. I'm doing that every week. Dude, that's my boys. That's my boys right there. That's my crew. So, back in the day, this guy played 20 years, started in 2001, and just left in 2020. That's crazy. That's crazy. Came out in 2001, played for the Chargers for 5 years. Playing pretty well, 3,500 yards, 24-15, 27-7, 2004, 11-15, 17-16 in his first 3 years, kind of And then he went to New Orleans in 2006. And in 2006, 26-11. 2007, 28-18. And then he started just 28 in 2008. It just started going bonkers. 2008, 34 touchdowns. 2009, 34 touchdowns. 33 touchdowns. 46 touchdowns. 43 touchdowns. I mean, he was just blowing up. And not to mention, every season, 4,400 yards, 4,400 yards, 5,000 yards, 4,300 yards, 4,600 yards, 5,400 yards in 2011, 5,100 yards in 2012, 5,100 yards 2013, 49-52, took a little dip in 2014. But that's 3 years in a row, averaging 5,200, 5,000 yards, averaging. And not to mention 46, 43, and 39 touchdowns. That's like 40, what is that, 40-something touchdowns. 42 touchdowns. That'd be crazy. 42 touchdowns a year. So 2011, 2013, you had top 5 quarterback on your hand right there. And then he wasn't even too far out there the rest of the season. So, I mean, Drew Brees, fantasy Hall of Famer right there. Him and LT, who, he left there. And then he won a Super Bowl. LT never won a Super Bowl. Moving on, let's see. Oh, yeah, in 2016, he had another 5,000-yard season, 37 touchdowns, 32 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns. He went down in 2017, that's when the decline started happening. 23 touchdowns versus 8 interceptions and 4,300 yards. If you call that a decline, in the 90s, he would still be a top 5 quarterback. In the 80s, definitely. But the 70 now I get it, and I'm going to discuss this a little more. The high, I mean, he was an accurate quarterback, which what he wasn't. But it gets a boost nowadays because the games, you're not throwing 10-yard passes as much, or down the seam, or up 15 yards. You're throwing a lot of crap at the line of scrimmage. So that goes to okay, the shorter the pass, the more higher the accuracy, and that, I think that goes for pretty much every quarterback. Nowadays, the offenses all incorporate close to the line of scrimmage passes, which is going to up your percentage a little bit, and I think that had something to do. I mean, not that he wasn't an accurate quarterback. I'm not saying he wasn't accurate. I'm saying this guy was hitting 74.34%, 74.44%, and this guy was on the money. 73 out of 4 passes he's hitting. What? So you got to give it up to Drew Brees. I had him one season, I think, and it was one season. I think it was 2000. Where is it? 2000. I don't want to say 2018. 2015. I ran out and grabbed it. Okay, this guy still threw 32 passes, but he missed. He started 15 games, but that's kind of weird because he missed a couple of games. He missed one. He got hurt in one game, so he didn't play that whole game. And then he missed the next game, and then he came back. And he still threw 4,800 yards, but I wanted the 39, 40 touchdowns. My team stunk that year anyway, so he wasn't helping. He was just there for the ride to 5 wins. But this guy, I mean, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's a fantasy Hall of Famer right here. There must have been. I mean, this guy probably won God knows how, especially during 2011, 2013. Throwing for averaging 42 touchdowns. Now, he threw some picks, 19, 12, and 14, but we're fine with that. As long as he's throwing those 42 touchdowns, we're good. We're good, buddy. The 19's a little sketchy, but Pretty good. And he only hitting 63% that year, which is low compared to every other year I can see on the screen. Outside of his rookie and to his third year. But yeah, he's gone. So now what are we gonna do now? What do we do? Well, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do. So happy trails, Drew Brees. I think he's on CBS now or something like that. So you get to see him talk about how this quarterback stinks. I would have made that pass. This guy's a bum. Tom Brady guy is pretty good. I think he's on CBS, so he's only doing AFC, so you're not gonna get the Bucks out there. But yeah, happy trails, Drew Brees. I had 1 year he stunk for me, but I'm sure plenty of guys out there, especially if you got him in 2008-ish. 2007 through 28 touchdowns, 18 picks, 4,400 yards, pretty good. But if you saw what was coming, 5,000 yards, 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 30, 40, 30, 30. And then it took, all those 30s took you to 2017 when he actually played 16 games, only threw 23 touchdowns. But on top of that, lately, last 3 years, 5 picks, 4 picks, 6 picks. Now, he only played 12 games last year and 11 games 2019, but it goes to the accuracy right there. But we're going to get into, got my own things to talk about in terms of accuracy with the guys behind him that we're going to get to. Talk about this real quick. Oh, what? I don't get this? I'm not allowed to see this anymore? They're taking things away? Here. The guy brought up, they were talking about Drew Brees retiring, and it's a couple things that he says that are, just to put it in a little more context for you in case you didn't know, this guy was awesome. You've been living under a rock, playing fantasy football under a rock. There have been 12 individual 5,000-yard passing seasons. Drew Brees has 5. There was a 9-year stretch from 2008 2016. I kind of went into this. Brees averaged 4,991 yards and 37 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. 2008, 2016. That is ridiculous. And where he ranks all time, 80,000 passing yards, 71-42 in completions, 571 passing touchdowns. That's just unreal. And 25 rushing scores over his 20-year career. 25 rushing scores. And a receiving touchdown from, I think it was from, LaDainian Tomlinson threw him a touchdown. So that's pretty amazing. In terms of fantasy production, 2008, 2016, who else is out there? I mean, Mahomes is going to have to just to deal with that, Mahomes is going to have to be out there doing some crazy stuff for a long period of time. So, happy trails. But I'll tell you what, you want to bet on something, you better bet with MyBookie. We've got sports back pretty much every day now. And if you want to support the 12-ounce sports team, there's an easy way to get in on the action. 12-ounce sports is going to hook you up with a crazy deal. When you sign up and make your first deposit on mybookie.ag, when you make that first deposit on mybookie.ag, they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 when you punch in the promo code 12-ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports, all caps, no spaces, when signing up on mybookie.ag to get your deposit matched up to $1,000. Remember, always gamble responsibly. Roll them bones, rolling them bones, spider. So let's gab. Drew Brees is gone. You got two guys backing him up. I'm sure you heard about that ridiculous contract they gave Taysom Hill. That's not the way it's going to work. And they re-signed Jameis Winston, but Now, I don't think this is going to come into play this year, most likely. If it does, that means they got screwed. But I think they have enough talent on that team outside of the quarterback position to have to go to a rookie, which I think they're going to go and draft a guy probably, top 3 rounds list. I don't know if one of these main guys, Trey Lance, the main secondary guys. You pretty much know Trevor Lawrence is going first, and it's kind of moving in the direction of that little smiling kid going to the Jets. I keep hearing him. I keep hearing it. And if they get rid of Darnold, you can pretty much the writing's on the wall there. And after the draft, we'll get into who got drafted where and where the fantasy value is going to be. So I'm not really going to get into that. Of course, there's plenty of other things to talk about, like free agency and Drew Brees and what's going to happen to the Saints quarterback position. So we've got 2 guys that are going to be battling it out for this position. Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston. Now let me go over Taysom Hill real quick in case you are unaware. Let's go tell the tape real quick. 6'2", 221. Bigger than Drew Brees by a lot. 2 inches, 20 pounds. 30 years old, though. Now, that's not super old for a quarterback. That's not, shit, Brady's 43. Yo, cuz. So, we're not looking at, Methuselah here. But he is older than Jameis Winston. Theoretically, you have more years out of Jameis Winston, which makes him more value in the long-term sense, I guess you could say. But, as you saw last year, Jameis, sit down. Just sit down. You sit right over there. There's your spot. Grab a Gatorade. Taysom Hill, get in there. They didn't want him in there. It's not that they didn't want him in there. They didn't put him in there. He only threw 11 passes last year. So, it looks like Taysom Hill has is the front runner for the job, especially given the $140 million contract. So I want to. Let me go over the overall what he did last year. So and then I'll bring it down a little bit more. So last year he played a handful of games. This was not just these handful of games. There was always a couple games outside of that where he threw a couple passes, ran a couple times. But overall, he threw 121. He had 121 attempts for 88 completions. That's a 72% mark in terms of completion percentage. It's not bad. Small sample. 928 yards, average 7.7 yards per throw. Not bad. Small sample. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Small sample, but I'll put... That's a little... I'm not a big fan of that. Let's just put it that way. Now, I went over Drew Brees when he was a rookie and when he was in second year. I think he threw... His third year, threw 11 touchdowns and 15 picks. And... They picked up, I think that was the year they drafted Phil Rivers after that, 2004. And then they kept him there for a year. And he had a Pro Bowl year. Now, I don't even know if this guy's even Philip Rivers. He's not. He doesn't play like any of those other guys. He doesn't play like Brees or Rivers, for that matter, or Winston. He kind of has his own style of play. He got sacked 14 times. Out of 121 dropbacks. Now, he likes to move his legs and he likes to run around and do all that. So that's going to be factored in. But 14 times is a lot for a limited sample. So that's another thing to keep your eye on. Now, that's just the passing part. The rushing part, granted, he played in, I think, all 16 games this year. So this isn't going into the specific games he played. This is overall. 87 attempts, 457 yards, 5.3 average. Love that. 8 touchdowns. He ran for twice as many touchdowns as he threw for. So you kind of see where this is going. And well, 8 for 98 and a touchdown in terms of catching the ball. If he's a quarterback, he ain't catching nothing. We ain't doing that. Put a quarterback out wide and then make him run a route. No, that's not happening. So from that small sample, you can see kind of what you're getting here. You're getting a running quarterback that they're going to control where he throws the ball. He's going to have easy throws, easy throws and throws he can make. They know, he's been around 5 years with the Saints. They know his strengths. They know his weaknesses. They're going to go with his strengths. He's going to be a running quarterback. Not so much. I don't think they're going to get him. I don't think you could say in the mold of like a Lamar Jackson. Although I can see his rushing numbers, if you played all 16 games, being up there. And if you get points for hitting the 100-yard mark, you might get some out of him. I'm not sure, though, because I don't think they want him running the ball as much. They want him to throw the ball. Can he be a quarterback? That's the question. So a little more. Let me break down his specific games this year. So he came in versus Atlanta week 11. He came in versus Atlanta week 11. 18 of 23, 78.3%, 233 yards. He got sacked 3 times. He also ran the ball 10 times for 49 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That'll get you 24.2 points. Now 230, you're not getting 230 in terms of yards. You're not getting. Excuse me. You're not getting any extra points for that. Although the 2 touchdowns on the ground, I like, especially if you have weighted touchdowns, like I do in one league where touchdown only counts for 4, whereas if you run it in, it counts for 6. That gives him more value. That was Atlanta, week 11. Week 12 against Denver, against a bad team. 9 of 16 for 78 yards, a pick, and 10 for 44 on the ground, 4.4 yards per rush, and 2 more touchdowns and a fumble. But they ran, they ran all over that team. So if they don't, what you see here is now they won 31-3, and he threw the ball 16 times. What you can see here, and I'm not going to say, actually, yeah, I'll say it. When they're running all over teams, pretty much anybody isn't going to be throwing the ball that much, but especially him. You're not going to get the 31-3 with him throwing 3 touchdowns and throw for 300 yards. You're going to get 31-3 with him throwing the ball 16 times and running the ball 10 times for 2 touchdowns. So that's a huge difference in terms of all the other quarterbacks, and a lot of the other quarterbacks in the league. I guess he's still learning. You could say this is his big chance. But that'll get you 18.5 points, those kinds of games. Now, it's not 10 points, but, 31-3, you can't expect him to throw, and I would expect him to throw 3-4 touchdowns in a game. You're not going to get the big games out of this guy. You're going to get steadiness, and that's about it. So far from what I've seen. Week 13 in Atlanta, 27-37 for 73%, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, no picks, and 14 for 83 yards on the ground. That's what I'm talking about. He can get to that 100-yard mark. You get to 83 there, and a 14 for 83, no touchdowns, 3 fumbles though. Can't have that. You can't be giving up the ball like that. That's a big. When he went in there, well, let's do the last game first. So against Philly, he lost that game 28-38, 291, 2 touchdowns and a pick, 5 rushes, 33 yards, another fumble. Now let me see if I can get this. There we go, right here. He played Atlanta, Denver, Atlanta, Philly. In those games, he had 6 turnovers in 4 games. 6 turnovers. If you count week 10, where he didn't even start, he had 2 more fumbles. That's 8 fumbles in 5 weeks. Now, if you extrapolate that out, even a 15-week season, you're looking at 24 freaking fumbles. Yeah, you're not going to be the starter with 24 fumbles on your record. So that's going to be that. He's going to have to prove that. Now, does Sean Payton want to change the offense around and go with this? He's got everything kind of built for, kind of throwing the ball the way Drew Brees did. He ran that offense, I'm not going to say perfectly, but he ran it pretty damn well. They won a Super Bowl. They've been close the last 3-4 years. Couldn't make it over the hump. Got screwed a little bit here and there. All you got to do is, make sure Stephon Diggs doesn't, but, it's in the past. So you've got this guy who doesn't throw touchdowns, runs them more often. When he got in there, had a serious turnover problem in terms of, if you add in the 2 picks as well, 10 turnovers in 5 weeks. So you're looking at this guy saying he's a little older, but I like him better than Jameis Winston because I've had him for a while. He's known the offense. He's a great gadget guy. If we play this way, the league's kind of trending towards running quarterbacks. We have a running quarterback now. If we draft somebody, we can transition into the new quarterback over the next few years. With this guy being a steady transition from Brees to him. They didn't want to let him. He was going to leave a couple years ago. I said, no, you ain't going nowhere. No, you sit right back down. Nope. And they gave him a good backup quarterback contract. I forget when that was, 2018 or something like that. So with that small sample size, you get some goods, you get some bads. The goods, being a running quarterback, he averaged 20-something points per game. He had 24 points, 18 points, 23 points, 19.9 points. That's over 20 points a game. That's not 28 points a game, but it's over 20 points a game. If you can make a jump this year, you use that 4-game spread, learn from it. All right, here's how we're going to – you get an off season. We're going to tailor the offense around you. And I don't think it's outside of the reach for Sean Payton to revamp the offense for a new quarterback with a different skill set. I think he's one of the top offensive coaches in the league. So why not? Give an off season together, get him through training camp, give him a couple preseason games, figure out how we're going to do this, and boom, you're off to the races. If he becomes a starter. I think if he were to become a starter, you're looking at, I don't think he's going to get drafted. He'll get drafted just because of the team he's on and the weapons around him. He'll probably get drafted around where Brees was drafted. Brees always got drafted way down the line, way down there. Well, not always, but over the last 5 years or so, he keep putting flavors of the month up there. Last year, not this year, the year before, Baker Mayfield was like, I saw him in books number 5. Number 5 quarterback. Yo, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That guy, they get a book on you, and then you kind of struggle, and then you come back and you play better. And you get better coaching. That helps. Not Freddie freaking Kitchens. But, so you're looking at a guy who's going to get you possibly, being like a 20-point average guy, which is good, but that's backup quarterback territory. You're looking for, if you're stuck with him, you're probably still looking for a quarterback out there that can get you real points. He's probably going somewhere in the teens, 13, 14. Somebody to take a run at him. Maybe in the New Orleans area, it goes a little sooner. But overall, I think he could be I think he's got a ceiling, and it's kind of a low ceiling just because there's running. And if you're getting points taken off for turnovers, you got to factor that in. So I think he's 13th, 14th round pick, and I don't think he's a star. I think he's a backup. If you ask me right now, this is freaking March 19th. Going over the numbers, that's what it looks like to me. So if they say, you know what, we're making the offense around you, and we're going to become a running quarterback team, then that's what you're going to get. My opinion. You know what else I got an opinion on? Zingo TV. You should get it. You should go to zingotv.com and go get it. It's free. Please use the promo code 12ounce, though. You got to use the promo code 12ounce, 12OZ. It helps us when you do that. We know them. We're working with them. We got things going on. And they can kind of they know when we send guys over there. So 12 Ounce Sports is channel 761. Plus, they have other actual sports channels, music channels, and a bunch of other stuff. You got to go check it out and look at it and see what you like. Go check it out. It's free. Like I said, every week it's free. Please sign up and use the promo code 12ounce, 12OZ when you're signing up for Zingo TV. It's free. It's all rhymes. We're talking rhyme time, blow your mind time. That's an old song. Don't forget. You can catch Talkman Radio replay 11 a.m. You're waking up like this. Talkman's on. We'll talk about fantasy football. Let's go. So that's where I see Taysom Hill going. If it turns out that Jameis Winston wins the quarterback, I'm assuming they're going to have a quarterback competition in the offseason. They'll probably keep the rookie or whoever they have, whoever the other quarterback is. I'm assuming they're bringing in somebody else. If not, it's just going to be between these two guys. And if Jameis Winston gets in there, and there's a possibility he could be the starter this year, I'll tell you what I think. Now, he doesn't have any. Last year, he threw 11 passes for 7 completions and 75 yards. That's it. That's all we got. So we're not really getting into, we can't really get into this year, but we can get into 2019. Let's look a little bit into that. Now, 2019, he's been basically since he didn't play last year, he just got to sit there and talk to Drew Brees for a year. That's got to be worth something. Not so much Taysom Hill because they played the quarterback position differently. I think Drew Brees, being around Drew Brees, could be a big help to Jameis Winston. His biggest problems are, I'll show you right here. So when he played in 2019, he had to come in week 8 because I think he got banged up or something like that. 301 yards, 21 of 43, 48%. That's not great. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. See, those kinds of games, you can't be up and down in this league. You got to be kind of consistent. And then the next game, 29 of 44, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Still lost the game. Next game, 30 of 48. Not bad. 358 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Already, 4 picks, 3 games. New Orleans, 30 of 51, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. Are you seeing the pattern yet? 18 of 29 against Atlanta, 313, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Against Jacksonville, 21 of 33 for 268 yards. No touchdowns, no picks at least. Sacked 4 times. 33 of 45, that's a pretty good percentage, 73.3 for 456 yards. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. The next game, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. The next game, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. It's 22 touchdowns and 23 picks. That's not That's not going to, and we're not even, that's just the second part of the year. The first game of the year, he had 1 touchdown and 3 picks. The issue with Jameis Winston is not his arm. He can throw the ball. He can throw the I went through the attempts, 43, 45, 48, 51, 28, 33, 45, 42, 48. He'll throw the ball. He only played 8 games the year before. He threw the ball 442 times. That's without playing 5 games. So there's no problem with his arm. He's got a big arm. He takes a lot of sacks. They don't like that in New Orleans. They don't like you throwing picks. Drew Brees hardly. I showed you. That's the reason I made the point of his last 3 years, and even before that, he was in double digits, but it wasn't 23. And he threw 23 picks. Actually, yeah, he threw 23 picks in 2019. Drew Brees threw, it was 4, 5, and 6. 15. Threw 15 picks in 3 years. So that's the issue with Jameis Winston. I'm sure we all understand that. Now, there's games where he plays well, and there's games where, you get under 50% completions. He takes a lot of sacks, he gives the ball up, and he stops drives a lot. That's not great. But we're playing fantasy football here. So let's talk about the fantasy points. Now, first off, you got to get the job. You got to get the job first. But starting week 8, now this doesn't go with if he throws picks, you lose points. I'm assuming. I don't think so. So 21 points, 20 points, 20 points, 18 points, 26 points against Atlanta. He threw 2 picks now. 10 points against Jacksonville. Can't have those games. Well, I get it. You're not going to have 8 zillion yards every game. But 10 points is kind of lame. But then he bounced back. 37 points, 33 points. But then, again, 15 points, 16 points. It's really, he's too up and down. He's not as consistent. At least Taysom Hill was consistent. You got 26, 21, 18, small sample, like I said. So his main issues are decision making, because you can't throw picks. And holding on to the ball. Give him the offseason, coach him back up, which, you got Sean Payton there, he's got Drew Brees there for a year, talking to him, he's watched him, he's got to sit back and watch what one of the best quarterbacks of all time does. If that can sink in a little bit, and you can get him to understand, okay, we throw the ball away, don't try and do too much. You've got weapons all over the place, and just throw the ball, make good decisions, and throw the ball away if you have to, and don't take sacks. If you can crunch that down, this dude, now, call me crazy. This dude can be top 10 quarterback. He's got the offense and the guys around him, just like Drew Brees was, and he's 15 years younger, 14 years younger. All you have to do is coach the guy up. Now, now I'm saying that knowing full well, this guy's been a quarterback for years. I'm assuming in college and high school. So you got to figure he's got some fundamentals. You re-ingrain them. This guy could come out there and just blow the doors off. And his draft stock would probably be somewhere around probably Taysom Hill area, something in the low teens, because you figure, Taysom Hill throws. Jameis Winston. He's going to lose the job. This is all going with if before the season starts they say Jameis Winston has a job. I would say he has way more upside than Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's a running quarterback who can get rushing touchdowns, but you're not going to get as many throwing touchdowns. This guy, if they can straighten him out, this guy can throw 40 touchdowns. Easy. And just keep throwing them. So, James Winston has the far bigger upside. But can his head make his body do what needs to be done in this league? I don't know. I was never a big James Winston fan. His accuracy really kind of, I'm a little sketchy on his accuracy. He only hit 60%. And like I said before, nowadays with everybody, with the passing game so much closer to the line of scrimmage, 60% ain't going to cut it no more. 60% sucks. 65%, okay. Yeah, all right, you're doing okay. And 70% is elite now. It used to be, 60, 62, 63%. All right, you're looking good. But now everything's so close. So if they can straighten him out a little bit, I think he'll be fine. So that's my take on James Winston. So watch out. If he does get the job, watch out. Watch out. So, that's how it works. So I do want to get into, let's see. So the Bears put out this ridiculous trade. I told you they want a quarterback. All they want is a quarterback. Just give me a quarterback, and we'll be good. Like they think all we need is a quarterback, and we're good. There's some more news going on that I'm going to discuss with the Bears, but I'm trying to see where they offered 3 first-round picks, 2 starters, and a third-round pick in exchange for Wilson. When Seattle said, we don't want first-round picks. Now I can kind of if they had like a top 10 pick, maybe. Now you're looking at 20, and you're looking, we don't know who's going to be there at 20. So I get it. And then once they have Wilson, you're probably not getting closer than you did this year. You can start looking at 22, 23, 24, 25, 30. If things work out the way they want them to work out, and you just gave away a quarterback. So I get why they wouldn't go out and do that. But like I said, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think they're willing to give up 3 first-round picks. Now I think it kind of turns back to Watson a little bit, because now, and which all this stuff going on, this is a little weird with the girls coming out with the massage girls and all that. I don't know what's going on there. I kind of looked into it. I read a quick article. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Something's weird. I never heard nothing from this guy. I want to leave. All these girls come out and say all this craziness. I don't know. I'm done believing in coincidences. I'm a little too old for that now. So whenever I see this kind of stuff, I'm always like, what's going on here? Looking at that a little more deeply. So that's just a quick thing on the Bears. I mean, they went 8-8, and I guess they think we just give us a quarterback. We don't care. Just give us any quarterback. Any quarterback is any real legitimate top tier quarterback, and we'll be fine. That they think that's all they need. And we'll get into what they did in the free agent market today. That's it. That's all. I'm not getting into that too much. You know what I'm going to get to, and you should get into too. Want to get an inside look at recreational sports betting? And check out the Vegas Squares podcast, brought to you by 12 Ounce Sports. Catch them every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Zingo TV, channel 761. And again on Wednesday night for their golf betting show. Check out their website as well, lvsquares.com. That's Vegas Squares exclusively on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV. Also, check out James and the Agent Wednesdays, 8 to 9:30. I was coughing down there. So much crap down here. God, I live in a dungeon. So, free agents. Last 15 minutes to talk about free agents. We'll do the AFC first. Now, right off the bat, there's a big move that went, and I don't know what they tried to offset it, but I don't know. And this is a defensive player, Matthew Judon from Baltimore. I think he went to the Patriots. Now, in the last year, 2 years ago, Baltimore defense, top 3, top 5 defense. Matthew Judon was a big part of that. Also, Earl Thomas is a big part of that. They picked up Yannick Ngakoue this year. That didn't work out. So, the defense, no matter what, is taking a talent drop. So, that's going to affect them. Now, they do draft well, and they kind of bring guys up through, you sit on the bench, you play a little bit, then you get your shot, and they usually produce well in terms of the Baltimore Ravens. That's one thing they do fantastically. But that's a big loss. Matthew Judon, I liked him. I thought he was a real good player, and he fitted well in that system. Also, they let go of Mark Ingram, which is huge for J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards to an extent. They like to run the ball there. They love to run the ball there. And J.K. Dobbins is just going to be a beast next year. I think they're going to relegate Gus Edwards kind of back to a secondary feature. I mean, when he's hot, I'm sure they'll run him. But the main, I think they're going to make J.K. Dobbins is going to be top 3rd round pick at the latest. They run the ball there. Now you have Lamar Jackson you have to deal with, who will vulture touchdowns from you. But I think he's top flight running back next year with the release of Mark Ingram. So that's Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo Bills made some moves here and there, kind of on the defensive side. Picked up Mitchell Trubisky. There's Mitch. There goes Mitch. Cincinnati lost some guys here and there. Nothing real big. John Ross, he never worked out. Picked up Brandon Allen. Re-signed Brandon Allen. They tried to help out the defense a little bit. We'll see what happens there. Cleveland didn't lose anybody big. Released Adrian Claiborne. Re-signed Rashard Higgins. Worked on their defense a little bit. Troy Hill. John Johnson, safety, and Tack McKinley. I kind of like him. But they worked on the defense a little bit. Denver, bringing back Vaughn Miller. Declined Kareem Jackson, you're out. Kept Justin Simmons. I like that guy. But Denver, we'll see what happens in the offseason. But they're not very fantasy relevant. They've got some guys here and there. We'll see what they do. Draft-wise, Houston, Will Fuller gone. He was having a good year last year with Deshaun Watson. I don't even know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. This whole team, I wouldn't draft anybody from this team. Anybody from this team. They're too whacked. They're too whacked out. Mark Ingram, they're bringing in Mark Ingram into that mess. He might, if they run the ball a lot, he might have some value, but picked up Marcus Cannon. Nothing big here. The Colts re-signed Marlon Mack. Jacksonville, nothing big here. I mean, the teams with very little fantasy value didn't really do much, and there wasn't really too many guys out there that you could bring in that are going to be fantasy relevant. I've only found like 2 so far, but there's another one coming. The Chiefs released their offensive line and brought in 2 more offensive linemen, including Joe Thuney. So they're going to be around the same. Darrell Williams is going to replace Damian Williams. He took the year off, and now he can take the rest of his life off because he got released. The Raiders. Kenyon Drake, 2-year deal. They picked him up 2 years, $11 million. Now that's an upgrade from Devontae Booker, definitely. I like Kenny Drake. I like Kenny Drake last year. And that was after, what, at the beginning of the year, whoa, how come he's not put up 30 points a game here? Yeah. He doesn't put up 30 points a game every game. Sorry. Drafted him for that? Idiot. But I liked him. He played well. You know, he got points. Took him a little while, but he got points. And they pick up Yannick Ngakoue. Now, the Raiders, they kind of wait and see. But Kenyon Drake's an interesting pick. He's going to be a handcuff. And, he's going to get drafted somewhere. In terms of tight ends, Jared Cook. Do not fall for Jared Cook. Do not fall for Jared Cook with the Chargers. Ooh, we got the young quarterback. Young quarterback's going to go to Keenan Allen 99% of the time. Jared Cook is going to have 2 games. You could replay this. After next year, he's going to have 2 games where he goes nuts, and the rest of the season is going to be 1 catch, 2 catch, 3 catches. And you're going to be sitting there, how can we just do 11 for 114 yards like you did last week? You had 2 touchdowns. Nah, it's not doing that every week, huh? Yeah, that's how it works. So, do not fall for Jared Cook at the Chargers. Stay away from him next year. Big pickup. Watch out for this guy. Real sneaky. Malcolm Brown going to the Miami Dolphins. They're good. They want to run the ball. They just kept putting guys. They put in freaking the guy from the Eagles who went back to the Eagles. They put him in there. They had everybody in there. Malcolm Brown could be sneaky, big-time player. Big-time player. Keep an eye on Malcolm Brown, especially keep an eye on what the Dolphins do draft-wise and more so in free agency as well. But Will Fuller pickup, they need wide receivers over there. I'm assuming they're going to take a wide receiver at some point. Maybe even with that 3rd pick they have. But we'll see. They're watch out for the Dolphins. I said watch out for the Dolphins last year. Watch out for them again. They're serious about what they're doing here, and they seem to be looking okay. 2-2-2. We'll see if he's the real deal or not. New England went and bought a bunch of guys. Brought back Cam Newton. You saw what Cam Newton was about last year. I mean, you want to pick him up? He's a waiver wire guy. Yeah, he's a waiver wire guy. Now, keep an eye on Jarrett Stidham, unless they draft a rookie really high. Because at some point, you got to put Stidham in and it's like, okay, what can you do? You got to do something. And I still think they're going to go and pick up somebody, a rookie. But Cam Newton, watch out, because now he's got not 1 but 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. If I had to pick between them, I guess I'd go with Jonnu Smith just because Hunter Henry is a little bit more injury prone. But you want to throw those are the best options you have. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith now. And if Cam Newton's going to be your quarterback, he's got plenty of years throwing to tight ends, having really good years with tight ends with Greg Olsen over there in Carolina. So I got, that's something you look into. If that's the way, if it works out that way, Cam Newton's a quarterback, and you see which one of these guys, and they're probably going to play 2 tight end sets there. So I would probably put a little more emphasis on Jonnu Smith. Plus, they drafted somebody last year, Isaiah Su'a, something. I think Italian kid or something. Yeah, they drafted somebody last year as tight end. I don't know what for, but that's something to keep an eye on. It could be a top. Could make it in the top 5 in terms of tight ends, Jonnu Smith, but we'll see. Corey Davis to the Jets. If they go and get the little smiling kid, and the kid turns out to be good, somebody's got to catch the freaking ball. I'm not sold on Denzel Mims just because he's young, but Corey Davis showed he can play. He can have some decent games. He had some last year. He got a 3-year, $37.5 million contract too. And the re-signing of is another tight end. He's not going to get a lot of big-time players. Anthony Firkser for the Tennessee Titans. I kind of like him. I like him. They got rid of Jonnu Smith, and they paid him $800 billion. So Anthony Firkser has the shot to be the the main tight end over there, him or Jeff Swain. Free agency, bunch of guys you never heard of. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know it isn't crazy? Cookies. Biscotti Gourmet offers a new take on an old Italian tradition of soft-baked mini biscotti and many delightful flavors. Lemon's my favorite. It's not back yet. Go to biscottigourmet.com. That's BITSCOTTIGOURMET.com. BiscottiGourmet.com. And use the promo code TALKMAN for 20% off your order. Any flavor is a wonderful compliment with your coffee in the morning, or is a guilty pleasure treat. It's guilty. You're guilty. Yeah, so that's the AFC. Let's run through the NFC real quick. We got a couple minutes left. There's a few guys I saw. Number one, bet against Arizona. Unless they pick up some rookies this year that really make an impact, they're going. I just don't like the moves they're making. Of the three guys they picked up, AJ Green's 800 years old and hurt. J.J. Watt, 800 years old and hurt. They picked them 1 year and 2 year deals. No, I don't think so. They picked up a center, but if that's the moves you're going to be making, an 8-8 team, got rid of Kenyon Drake, let Patrick Peterson go. I get Patrick Peterson. I'll talk about that. But I'm not too big on that one. Atlanta Falcons, they stink. They really didn't. They re-signed Young Kung Ku. Okay. All right, then. Carolina, franchise, the tackle. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to keep the line in place. They picked up some guard, another offensive lineman. So, yeah, they're going to do that. They're going to Hassan Reddick a little on defense. So they're going to, they want to keep the quarterback and the running back healthy. Make holes in the running back, keep the quarterback upright. The Bears release Kyle Fuller. See you later. We don't need you. Yeah, that dude's good. Okay, maybe he had a little bit of an off year last year, but that dude's freaking good. What are you doing? I don't know what the Bears are thinking. They could have put him in a trade, gave him if they want to get rid of him, give him to Seattle. I don't know what the Bears are doing. They're just like they've fallen all over themselves. Ugh. Because they can't get Russell Wilson. Go get the guy, the massage guy. Dallas, they picked up. Yeah, Dak Prescott was the big pickup. He just re-signed. Jamal Williams, watch out for Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams went to Detroit, played against them plenty. Detroit, they're doing this whole rebuild again, trying to grab new guys, bring a new culture in Detroit. They're going to stink again. But Jamal Williams could be one of those guys that you pick him up on the waiver wire, plays well for you. Aaron Jones going back to Green Bay is huge because it stops all the A.J. Dillon talk. Patrick Peterson to the Vikings, overpaid. There's a reason that they got rid of this guy. I get it. He's a really good corner. He was one of the best. But I think he's losing the step. Freaking, what's his face? Didn't Tyler Lockett go for 190,000 yards against him? And last but not least, Jameis Winston getting re-signed by New Orleans. Like I mentioned before, that's the reason I'm mentioning this, because Drew Brees is gone. We got to have somebody else in there. And if he wins a job, I think he could be huge. Of these guys, somebody's going to pop. Somebody always has to pop somewhere. Devontae Booker went to the Giants, backing up. The Eagles did nothing. They picked up Marquise Good. What? No, they didn't do anything. Eagles stink. San Fran did this and that. Kyle Juszczyk came back. And pretty much that's about it. So that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week at 6